I've spent the last 6 months building this mega base, and now I'm finally moving into the final stages, where everything starts to come together. Today, I want to bring my full vision of this base to life, taking the resources from all the farms I've built across the world and funneling them straight into the mega base storage. To make that happen, I'll need to build some brand new trains, and while I'm at it, clean up a few of those barren, unfinished areas that has been on my list for a while. Welcome back to Just Create. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It helps a ton, and make sure you don't miss the finished mega base once it's done. Before we get started with our trains, I'd really just like to spruce up the river a little bit, as currently it's looking a bit bland. And taking a peek at the river I built a few months ago, I'd like to do something similar. And I'm unfortunately out of azalea leaves, so let's take a quick stop at the moss factory to get some bone meal. And I've got a ton of open space over here by the tough factory to grow a few azalea trees up that I can harvest all of the leaves from, and growing a few more to once again clear away the leaves. Back in the storage, I've got a bucket of green dye, which we can use to dye some glass to use for our cattails. Let's see, still have some pickles in the storage for the tops of them as well. Grabbed some lily pads as well, where we can now move back down to the river and spend some time first filling in the entire edge on the mega base side from train bridge to train bridge with our azalea leaves, which already adds a lot to the area. But just to go that extra mile, I want to come back through now and get our cattails in using the green stained glass pads with pickles on top of them, as well as some lily pads and mangrove roots to act as some sort of dead wood. Figure while we are at it, let's also extend this same detail in on the side facing the train yard that I recently built. Throwing in some birch leaves as bushes, and this part of my mega base is looking really lovely. This side is, well, still a work in progress, extending the bone meal just a little bit. And while I think I want to do a bit more than just bone meal and grass, such as bring in a walking path, then to fill out the barren plains, a few fields, and maybe a building to act as a little farm barn along with a couple of trees. But before we tackle that, I want to build some trains. Yep, as in more than one train. Oh, I'm so excited. And I've already thrown a schematic in a cannon here to get ourselves a material list, which, okay, 15 pages, not too bad. Of course, the good thing with using a create schematic to get a material list is that we can just get everything I already have in storage requested. It will, however, be a mess, so let's grab a few shulkers and just quickly get ourselves an updated material list where we are down to just over 9 pages. Okay, great. So let's get the items we already have sorted into the shulkers that I just grabbed. And with that sorted, literally, I also want to look through the create truck to cross a few more items off the list. I think that's it for what I've got already crafted at the base, so let's grab another yellow shulker box. And down at the sawmill, we can just click on the stock ticker with the material list, and that will get us a few more wood bits for the trains. Wasn't quite everything wood way, as I never set up the nether tree type, so I'm in the nether to grab some crimson first of all, then also running low on warp, so chopping down a few logs over in the warp first. Back in the overworld, crafting these down together with a few other wood related items to finish that shulker off. Should have most other things laying around the storage now, where I want to get a few different bits of copper. I have a few copycats, but I need a ton more considering we are building 3 trains here. Something I've really been enjoying with my trains on the server is all of the colors, and I've already grabbed a few, but I want to craft a few more different colors of terracotta blocks. Ran out of coal, or well, coal as in the item. I've got over 3,000 ore blocks, and I need some more blocks, so fortuning down a few stacks of this to craft into blocks. Onto our final item now, where I'm pretty much all out of story sheets, so I've got some obsidian powder with me over to spawn to use Chosen's public factory to get me a few more of those. returning to the base, getting some stripped logs turned into brass casing, which in turn I can turn into train casings. Crafted some of those casings here into some train controls, and let's just go ahead and grab up all of our shulkers. And well, we did make a train yard in the last episode, so we should probably build the trains over there. Although I don't want to build them inside, as well, inside it's a little cramped. Instead, I figured we'd have a lot of space here around the back, or maybe just here actually. Just gotta flatten the area off a little bit here. Did forget my truck, so quickly just flew up to the mega base and grabbed that. And it was a lot more flattening than I originally thought to bring in the 3 tracks for our 3 trains. But getting this situated over on this side, let's bring out our train stations. Get all of those situated. Where can I just click create new trains on all of these? I can indeed. Bring out our train casings and we'll get the first one started. Then usually I think I do 6 bogies for the engine, and I think for this one I just want to do 5, as I do want these to be a little smaller than the other trains I've made, just because they're only going to be traveling around the base, no long distances, so I figure they wouldn't have to be as big. And so we'll just swap these out here for the big ones, and I think that should be good for the train casings, at least for the locomotives. Go ahead and grab some polished deep slate, some copycats, and we'll just get started with connecting everything up down the middle. And the tender back here should be really simple. I think we just do that. And well, I think this is where we're gonna have our ladder to get up to the cab. Rethink a little bit on how the scale of this thing is. Well, not rethink, just gotta change how I think the scale of it should be, because I'm used to my slightly longer trains. Put that there. We're going to some slabs to cover over this. We'll add in a little copycat panel here, not block, and we can use some steps and stairs. Use that off with the slab and our valve handle, of course. Repeating that here on the opposite side, and then repeating it on the other 2 locomotives to get the base in for all of them. Another element all of the locomotives will have in common is the design of the cab and tender, so creating the chassis out of copycats, leaving most of them blank for now, but filling in their roofs. With that out of the way, now comes the fun part where we can work on the engine itself. For this first one, let's get our bamboo blocks. Let's get some candles, metal brackets, always good to have, mechanical grindstones, speedometers. We are going to need those and a few other components, which I probably have in my truck. And I guess to start us off, we can just do the gate here at the front. Then using some blocks of bamboo, we can extend that as the body into a bamboo trapdoor, slight different color, but I do think it's still going to work for us. And then I should have are my water wheels, which we can bring in on top of this, run the front of with our stair, and then bringing in these where we get that green tone once again. Just the old classic design that I've been using on all of these, with a little redstone contact at the back here, fixing up into that, which in turn goes into a chute where we can bring in another chute here towards the front just to connect up above here. Connecting those on down. For the side itself, I feel like we can go pretty simple. I want to try using a few candles here above a speedometer, going into a grindstone, maybe even 2 grindstones, which in turn can go into our shafts and brackets, just to make it pretty simple side of engine, but I do like that. Doing that other side here as well, and let's move on to our next one, where I want to bring out some white blocks. Something that will pair nicely to this, I think, is some smart fluid pipes, and fluid pipes as the orangey tone pairs well with the white, and of course just the same design here on the front with the vents leading into some calcite maybe for the base. Some payload planks. I find it really cool that you can actually bring in the payload into the create wheels, even though that is a backport mod and not actually in vanilla Minecraft, just yet at least. We can just yoink this from that side, extend that in, and really just do the same level of detail. I do want these designs to be really similar. The engine will be slightly different, but pretty much all the same. And I guess just to switch this all out a little bit, where is that? Would be on contraptions. Some contraption controls that we can put on the side right here, going into, well, another grindstone and a funnel, just sticking out right there because that kind of fits with the gray that we have going on. And we can use use polished deepsit here just to finish that off. And get one of those. Got all the boring bits in here now on the magenta one. And for the fun thing, I'm thinking we take the magenta post boxes, bring these in here across the side for a little color. And then we go rose quartz lamp. And I just need something. So I'm thinking of redstone contact and an item hatch. Then here where we've been doing this rounded off thing, I'm thinking we take a hanging sign. So that's the only really half block sort of thing with the crimson color. And then we can use a fence gate just to bring that back into the body. From that in on the other side, I've also thrown in a nice little color splash here for that cab part to match the engine part of the trains. Some details here around the back, of course, like I have most of them, and I think the locomotives are done and I really like them. They're definitely a little bit smaller than the other ones I built and maybe a little stubby, but I think they are fine, and I think they're going to look great traveling around the base. Now, the plan for these trains is, of course, to transport materials around the mega base, and most importantly, transport materials from my different farms into the mega base storage. But to do that, I need to get a few carts to transport said materials in, and with all of the bases in, I'm extending up the shell with copycats, adding in some barrels and spruce trap doors, and finishing them off with roofs. Then using some mangrove, copper, and oxidized copper to paint the carts behind the crimson train. For the white one, I've only got 2 storage wagons, going for a green / mossy one and another classic mangrove one. Finally, behind the safari looking train, an exposed acacia and warped cart to flank the engine. Added in a caboose here as well on the back of the white train, as I just wanted to switch it up a little bit between all of the trains. And I did also just run the schematic cannon to apply glue to all of these, as well. The glue's a little complicated since I've done too many bogies for the locomotive, as there is a total of 3. Well, theoretically 5. So the way you have to do it is that you can't connect the frontmost bogie to anything, because otherwise it won't work. But it should all be working if we just assemble. We're gonna need some names for all of these trains, so if you have some suggestions, leave them down below, and well, specify which train you're suggesting for. And okay, I hope it all works. Well, I guess the only way to really test it is to grab this and make myself a staircase and relocate it. And there's no blocks left behind. Okay. And what if we just shovel these over? Okay, let's go ahead and park this up. Oh, they're looking good. Don't hit the happy ghast. And they handle these curves pretty fine, even though back of the cabs just swing out a little bit. And oh, where are we parking this one? So I think I'm going to keep the middle track clear. So let's instead turn on to this one, and we'll park up the first train on this line. Oh, the doors are broken. Also, for some reason, the trains no longer open the doors when arriving, only when leaving. It's really odd. Parking up the final one, and well, I'm gonna go grab my bed, but I think I'm just gonna leave these here for a little bit. As well, I do want to hook them up to all of my different farms and start finally funneling items towards the mega base. It's just I just need a this is not me trying to do something else and not work with oh no. Okay, there we go. That's repaired, and now we can get ourselves extracted. As well, I still want to fix all of this up that we started on earlier, and for that we need to go and get some materials. I definitely want this area to have a lot of nature elements, and for that let's start by requesting some leaves to throw into a box, but it's definitely not enough. So heading down to the wood farms, let's get a bunch more oak leaves gathered. And I've already cleared the leaves of the birch farm, so running around the nearby forest, gathering up some more of those leaves as well. I'm also a massive fan of acacia leaves to use as the boundary edges of fields, so stopping by the savannah over towards spawn to get my hands on even more leaves. Back at the base where I can spend a bit more time putting together a few other nature blocks for us. Let's also see what blocks I can get towards the pathway I want to bring in. Got most of it, but need to head back to spawn as I have ran out of wheat. And I recently discovered that the Jojo has a working wheat farm, and since he isn't playing anymore, we can just yoink some. Okay, and then craft this into our packed mud and mud bricks that I need. And now just some... wow, well, I should have bought some of that while I was at spawn. Well, let's skip that for now and instead restock some mushroom blocks manually from my broken mushroom farm. Starting to come together now with all of our resources. And even though we are transforming quite a large area, there isn't too many books to gather. I do need to get a bit of wood, however, put into our boxes, as well as a bit of crafting of some of the wood materials that the sawmill just doesn't produce. And it wouldn't really be a stat material gathering session without at least spending a few minutes in a stone cutter, really finding some different stone blocks. Grabbed up a few more resources and grabbed our rooted dirt from spawn. And we can just get all of this. Don't think I'm going to need that as the river edge is already done. But I know the hills here. And oh, we're definitely going to need to get that swapped out. And I think if it's not broken, yes, I have a next one. Great. Getting our shulker boxes situated here. Let's go ahead and grab some spruce fences and acacia leaves. And using these, we can start to figure out the exact shape for the fields that I want to bring into the area, as it will help guiding me through the area later when bringing in the path. Throwing some coarse dirt around as well, just to help settle the hedges into the terrain. And before we start working on the pathway itself, I need to head over to the sawmill real quick. Get a couple of dark oak slabs requested, which should blend into all of this once we start to put some water in here. And well, we're gonna have some flooding beneath, but it's fine. I'll maybe fix that later. We'll see. But I don't have to be too... Oh, I'm going to have to go around and fix that gap this. But I don't have to be too exact where I place the water, as I'm not actually going to be harvesting these fields. I just want them for all the decoration. Looking good. We'll figure out what to plant here in a little bit. For now, I want to start clearing away a line through the terrain I've built to clear the space needed to bring in our path. I've become pretty set on the idea of adding walking paths connecting all my builds in this area. A little late to make this realization, but if I tackle bits at a time, I'm hoping I can still make this space walkable. And at least this place is walkable. And for the lore sake of this base, the pathways are a thing of the past, as well as the factories have become autonomous and, well, there's no need for human workers anymore. But there once was, and I want this area to reflect that, which is why I've created all these small little fields to create a little hub for some food production, which means we need a barn where I'm working on a first floor using a whitewash palette leaning towards the brighter blocks. To support, there's a really simple oak structure off to the left. And I'm feeling inspired from this starter base of my Forever World, which you should definitely go check that series out, as it's something very, very different. And even though it doesn't have the create mod, I still think it's worth giving it a watch. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and for the starter base, I used a good amount of looms, and I figured we could bring in the same element into this barn. And we can take our blue colored blocks here with some warped wood and some darker prismarine bits, and as we go a little lighter, we can bring in some warts, a little stair for a window, and maybe even a bit of cyan glazed terracotta here, as I think that's going to blend pretty nicely between these two here. And just to, you know, smooth that out a little bit, the texture there, we can add a glow lichen onto it, as well. The glaze is a lot. Then to top all of this off, a super simple roof going from tough to deep state bricks. Out the back, of course, a chimney with, for a change, some campfires on top. Then, since this is a building to store grain and food, I'm constructing 2 silos to the right to give it even more of a farm feel. Using some mud brick for the base, moving into our granite and topping it off with some deep state roofs. I threw in a truck here, just like my toolbox one, just with some wheat in the back to look like it's carrying through the area. Probably been abandoned for a while, considering there's no human workers in the area. So don't mind the fact that there's fresh wheat in the back. No, it's fine, all right? Now, we still have this really, really flat and, well, open area here. And I was thinking we can just start tearing away the grass here. Where we now have a giant hole in the terrain, which does seem like going backwards a bit. But taking our rooted dirt, puzzle, coarse dirt, we can fill this hole back in again to create the ground for another type of field. Brought in our acacia leaf hedge here as well. And what I want to do here is create a vineyard for ourselves. And for that, I want to grab some oak trap doors and a bunch of spruce fences. We just stack up some spruce fences, and then on top of this, we come in with some oak trap doors. And I want to go definitely the most efficient way to do that. Then we can just continue off on a sort of diagonal to make this feel more natural of a shape. Then with the top part in, I'm thinking we can just come back in here and just add in a few more supports. Continuing this down, bringing in more rows of the supporting wood structure that will hold up the grapevines. That's looking pretty good, but of course we need some fruit, and I did grab the 2 glowberries that I had, and well, we're gonna need more, and these don't really grow themselves. Well, they don't. So instead, let's fly up to the sniffer greenhouse and get a few stacks of bone meal requested. Back down here, what I'm thinking we do is just grow this, and then we just click on this and get a bunch more. And now I just need to run along here and extend these down. And this does kind of look like hops, but I'm hoping the fact that the plants are relatively short makes it look more like a vineyard. So that's looking really good. Maybe we should give it some berries with some bone meal, but honestly, I don't think so. So I kind of just like it being the grapevine stretching through. Now to move towards finishing this area, let's start building a couple of oak trees where the 2 rivers meet at the far end of this terrain. Moving a little closer, I also want to create a cluster of a couple of trees in front of the barn between the 2 regular fields and vineyard. And well, I am in a tree building mood right now, so another 2 a little further up the river to complete up that space. And you know, you could also complete up the space below the video by subscribing. See, it even lit up when I said subscribe. Very cool. Oh, you thought I was done building trees? Nope. A few more pines close through the train tracks, and maybe a few more around the barn as well. And well, with 25 new trees here of varying different sizes, this area is looking so much better and way less barren. Now I just need to plant all of the fields planted, and I spent a while getting in grass everywhere as well, just to really finish off the area. And having more foliage in here now just makes this feel so much more complete. And also the fact that the mega base mountain needs foliage as well. But no, not now. I want to get started on our train schedules. Now to start working on our trains and actually getting them up, I have to solve issues that I've been putting off for, well, let's be honest, months. When I built the Redstone factory, for example, I put in this temporary track so that I could get Chosen's blaze train in here to deliver blaze rods because the factory needed it. But it's horrendous. Honestly, it looks so bad. And well, I also, when building the cobblestone factory even longer ago, I never put in the actual area to load it up. And well, I had plans to expand this, and I probably won't have the time to do that. And then, of course, the other farm that I have on this side is, well, the tough factory. And there's absolutely zero connection down to the backside of that, so we'll have to figure that out. But let's get started up here, as I've already grabbed a ton of resources again to start bringing this area together. And the first thing I'd actually like to do is figure out how this entire connection is gonna work. And I've actually had a change of thought on how this track goes, because I really was not liking the super unrealistic turn right over there. Instead, we could take the track around the corner of the Redstone factory and force the train down over the bridge. Now, I do also think we have to probably bring that down, and I should probably bring out a beacon. As I imagine we're just going to want to go right through this to the other side. We'll get all this torn down here in a second. Just need to bring myself through so that I can connect up the train tracks for now. Add in some deep slate here. This is now a much more gradual turn. Still not super realistic, but it's also Minecraft that we're playing. And if we just take a peek at the map, I like this layout a ton more than the other one. So now let's fully just bring down that pillar of terrain. Our train tracks go straight through at the moment, then continue to flesh out the details surrounding the tracks, getting all of the deep slate in underneath, as well as adding in the pale moss tuff, going into our podzol, coarse dirt, and mossy cobblestone to complete our track details. Area is coming together nicely, adding in a few more trees, and I think the next logical step here is to continue working on our walkable path goal, extending down a path from the top of the railroad here down underneath And then we can also just swap out the texturing on the path that I already had to match what I've got going on for the rest of the pathways. With the path sorted out, this helps me out figuring out the grass train around it, as I can sort of shape it around the slope of the path, connecting that up to the train tracks, filling in this middle space. Then I want to continue on the train bridge, but to do that, I left this empty space here between the dirt to bring up a small cliff face. We're completing up the bridge. That's looking really good here. And I definitely want to bring in some trees here. I know, more trees. It's 3 o'clock. But before that, I kind of really want to see if I can get one of the trains up and running. What I want to do is just extend this down a little further. Yep, that's, yeah, okay, perfect. We're just recycling a few tracks. Hopefully we can get this going around for now. I want to go down to the sawmill train, and I just want to take a peek at the train schedule. So retrieve package, address to that, deliver package, and then okay. So heading on over to the train yard then. If we take, let's do the crimson one, which I forget the train stations for those are up here, where we can just rename this right now to Crimson Runner, and that's going to pick up packages. Then we do deliver said package, and that's going to continue after, I guess, 16 seconds. That should be enough time, and then it can travel back to here. Well, it should actually just sit here until it has another package to pick up. So if we now head over to the Redstone factory, should theoretically be able to piggyback from chosen system and connect up my redstone supply to that. Let's see here. Oh, my truck is in range, right? And okay, so that's, oh right, chosen is that part. So on earth did he, oh right, he has his own massive vault down here. Is this, oh my god, he has all my redstone. Right, where's my vault then? It's somewhere here. Oh, there it is. Okay, how does he have this set up over here? Oh, he's building the item upwards. Okay, I was so confused for a second there. Right, but if we just run a simple little belt out of this, we can connect that up to, is this lining up? I think it is. Perfect. Just see, where's the power? There's some power right there, where maybe that's gonna spin the, oh right, wait, perfect. Then just need a little funnel going into the side of that, and on the inside over here, just 2 of those with that spinning into you. Okay, perfect. Now super simple, I'm hoping. Right underneath here we'll just get, look at that, I even had that in there. Okay, well, oops, shoots running up from that into there, and then we have a packager right here. Now we need to figure out how to do this, and I have an idea. I think I was playing around with this right when I built the bottom part of the factory, I was going to say, but the mega base is what I meant, as these logistics parts are really complicated. And well, this little guy right here is connected to its own network. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Quick recap of the storage system. I have 3 giant walls of vaults, and this one is completely disconnected from the other 2, as this is where I was planning on bringing in all of the train items. As you can see, it has its own little frog port input compared to this one, which is my main storage. And the problem with having so many different vaults is I can't just use a restock gauge, because then, well, I could theoretically, that might be the easiest now that I think about it. Do I have any factory gauges here? Okay, I do. Okay, means I can play around with this a little bit at least. And can I access the stock ticker here behind? As that theoretically connected to all of the frog ports here. And if we just head on over this way, go up a little bit, and we get this guy in right here. If we now set this to monitor redstone, is it gonna say I have 87? Can I now fly on down to the redstone factory, and I connect this up to a stock link? You should have done some text on this. Oh wait, it can't be placed right there. It needs to be placed right there. Connect that up, and if we now fly back into the mega base, this is complicated. Down over here, place this, guess underneath for now, and then redstone dust. That's 78,000, right? And if we now set a new connection down to there, where we say, hey, you can send a stack of well, you can send a stack of redstone for a stack of redstone to, all right, let's see our train stuff. Okay, we need it to be retrieved into that, so let's see here. It's gonna be, wait a second, let me check what I named these. I literally just renamed that 2 seconds ago. Oh, the memory's fading. SMBTI. Okay, which means we send this to SMBTI dash spawn yard platform 5. Because that spawn yard platform 5. And I think what we need to do up here is just put a asterisk at the end of these. So otherwise these are not going to recognize them. And what else? What else? What else? Oh, right. I need to actually retrieve it down here as well. So that would be this guy, Stamio main. Okay, so then we add that onto the list. Okay, I think that's gonna work for us. And then target amount be 100 stacks. Okay, well, it says it's requesting things. Should have probably started with like 1 stack. Oh, wait. Okay. So that's definitely working. All right. But if we head down here and we just put the schedule in, sit on down. Oh, we're going. That's a really good sign, actually. It means it's found a package that it wants to go to. Okay, go down the right tunnel. And we should to a turn. It does indeed. Super unrealistic. Could actually. Yeah, I'm not going to fix that. And goes through here. Should park up. We should see that post box flip down. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Definitely have. Okay. That goes down into these super unrealistic curves that are temporary. I just want to see if this is working. This should now then go back into the base, which it looks like it's on its way. It shouldn't have any issues in the middle here either, as I think I've moved everything out of the way. Turns in. We just hop off as we should see those move over and start to get shot up. And okay, that's an issue. And I think I know what's the problem. I think I just need to add one of those right to the start of these as well. And we should, yes, see the packages start to come up here. And then the redstone should in turn go out. Okay, there was a small delay, but that's fine. And we should now be auto restocking redstone. Why haven't I done this earlier? That was so easy. Why have I not? Oh my god. Well, I guess I didn't have the infrastructure. Well, that is amazing. And then this should wait a few seconds here and it should get going again, right? Why isn't it going? Oh, I think I know why it's not going. I need to do some more train signaling, don't I? There are no train signals down that way. We need to reset up the train signals over here as well. But one area at a time, I reckon. Kind of placing these train signals a little bit everywhere, but it's fine. Next season, I'm definitely having a proper thing built for placing the train signals in. But that should mean that this train arrives back. Oh, it does. And off it goes again. Oh, that's amazing. Because now it's going to go get more redstone to restock. Oh, yes, I'm so happy. Now, I really need to just try to together the rest of the train connections, but first a few more custom trees, bringing in some of the birch trees I've designed for the village along the train tracks. I'd also like to move into some more oak trees, bringing in another 2 of those closer to the tracks, covering the pathway a bit as well. As I was building these as well, that thought crossed my mind that I need to figure out how to get to the other side of the tracks, as I think I want to continue the pathway up here, and that's going to lead up to the mega base. And well, a bridge I just don't think would really fit. So instead, I should still have a bunch of tough blocks, where what I think we can do here is just go for a bit of a tunnel design, getting a little foundation this started. We're just bringing down a stair here down into the darkness, and then we start stretching this across over this way. Extend it down another entrance here on this side. Probably gonna get shot by this villager. If we just nope. But what we can do is just connect these 2 up, and well, it's getting really dark down here. So to solve that, let's just head back up here to storage, where I really should have. Yep, we can get a few frog lights. Just to bring in here to the ceiling. We use some tough just to surround that. Take away a few blocks over here. For the ceiling, I'd really like to use these just to make it not too small in here, but still cover up the bottom of the train tracks. Added in some super simple walls here, and that sort of finishes this up. What I'd like to do is just surround this up here a little bit with a little wall, and I was thinking we could bring this up where we use some glass, just like round that off a little bit to something like that. And should add in a special color, I think. There we go, looking a lot better added in over there as well. And I just need to see this from the sky, because this area has been so incomplete for so long, and oh, that looks so good. Do need to bring in some foliage and stuff, but it's at least not as bad as it was before. Now we should probably just move on to connecting this up, as I do really want to hook up the train to the top factory. And well, I've been thinking a little more, and I think I'm just gonna leave this area for a little later. As you know, we have a train track in here. I could set up a train to go there temporarily, right? It's fine. It's fine. We have a lot of work to do over here. But to start off the area, I do need to fix. We need to first clear away a few layers of dirt, and then using that dirt, I can continue to smooth out the train, which is looking good. And now we need to fix up this side over here as well. I've been doing some thinking, and my original plan was to bring this track up this way, but I have no idea how that would connect up to these, especially since this is the inn. It got a little messy. So instead, my new plan is probably to bring this one down over there and around, and then we need to go under the bridge with a channel and up on this side, which, like I said, means we need to clear away a couple more blocks to be able to corkscrew one of the tracks down to enter the tunnel. Speaking of which, that also requires a few more blocks torn away to create the space we need for it. Not going to go too over the top, just a bunch of polished stuff to create the tunnel itself, which is looking really good, or well, at least really simple. But now we have some problems with the rest of the terrain, which is a super simple fix, as I just need to carry on the deep safe foundation for the train tracks with the mixture of blocks around the sides to fill in all of the ugly holes. Adding in some train tracks, and the area is looking a whole lot better. Still missing a few details throughout, perhaps, but we'll get to that in the future, as I think I've done enough detailing for today. For now, I want to get the storage and the logical part of this hooked up. And okay, how do we do this? Never actually added a proper storage system to this. Now the trains will be arriving down this way, so let's add in the train station. Maybe a little bit down into here. Just did it right in the corner, the factory. Then, how do we get the underside out? I'm thinking what we could do is have this guy be pretty much at the top there. Then we get a belt. Is that down right here? And in theory, just connect these two up. That will help us get that connected. Just remove this a little temporarily. And we could literally just run this all the way over this way and set up our post box right here. And this one is only send packages. One input and have an output. Okay, got the bottom ones here added in, and then we should just be able to add these onto an existing network, I imagine, which in turn we can hook up to our factory gauges. Well, some of our factory gauges, and we should be pretty much good to go up and hook this up into the storage. I think this has to check these ones, and I guess we could just do that right over here. We're gonna need, I think, 4. One eternity later. Okay, finalizing the final one here. Then we just set this to request 100 stacks of all of these, and then we set up our train schedule, which we did by retrieving package addressed to YPS for this time, as I do want to utilize all the trains we built. Deliver said package and wait 16 seconds, and then travel to SYP4 and just wait 16 seconds, and if it does need to go off again, it will go off again. Okay, that should be good. I might as well set this one up while we are at it. That there should work. All right, let's first of all head over here and chunk load this one. Yep, I do still have some chunk loaders here. And oh right, there's packages in here, of course. I need to hook that up as well. It shouldn't be too hard. Should just be doing that into you. Means that those go over, and then one of those right here, right? Same with this guy. And then let's see, chunk border. So we need to okay, so add in a clutch so that we can turn this on and off, and then we'll just do that, and we'll do a 3x3. So that should do this one, that one, and then one more that way, and it shouldn't do the entire factory, which is great. And I think that's gonna be fine. Guess what we can do is just head on over. It does that. So this is platform 4, which means the white train. Add that to you. You should be off. Excited to see it travel through the new area, which, oh, there it is. Perfect. Up the hill. Oh, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? I love the trains in Create. It's so amazing. But this should travel down the first corkscrew and stop to be loaded up with, oh my god, a ton of packages. Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, I can't set a wait, can I? Well, it's just gonna have to do a lot of trips then. That's fine. I like seeing the trains run around because I don't think there's a setting to make them. No, it's just retrieve package. There's no wait. That sucks because I don't want to set a wait at a certain station. Well, that's just gonna have to do the loop again afterwards. I wish it was like an if statement. I wish like it would be sick if I could, after it's done delivering, it could check if it needs to retrieve more packages and then go down here. That would be really, really cool. I don't think there's a way for me to do that, but if there is, do let me know down below. Okay, after a bit of just tweaking some things, I think I've got the cobble. Oh, geez. Need to fix that. But I think I've got the cobblestone factory working as well. Yeah, we have a lot of items that wants to go into the frog ports. And I'm guessing all of those and all of those. And oh, geez. Okay. Right. Well, let's maybe do this. If we add in 1 and 2 more to this guy. Only send, and then we add 2 more frog ports. Because, I mean, this is blocking up the entire factory. And I know it's not going to do this all the time, but this might just help it. Does it not? Oh, is there too many packages on the belt? So it's not like... Oh, that might be it, actually. Can't go between them. Okay, we're going to have to hook them up right to that one then. And same with this one. Oh, there's too many things on the... Oh, that makes sense. There's too many things on it, so they couldn't go between them. And therefore, it couldn't get more things into it, which was, well, you know, caused it to fill up. Oh, send and... Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. And then all of those are filling up as well. And... Well, that's still really space. This is going Crimson Runner. That's going to come grab some quartz. And that guy is going to come and grab some other things. Okay, I might need to put in some more train signals. That might have to happen just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. I had to open up the second delivery spot here in the middle as well. And I have noticed some items disappearing. And I can only assume that that's because, well, of the bug with different chunks and chunk loading. Same with the Foxy had with his boats. But I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. Actually, that should be fine, signaling. Don't want to get any jams, and it looks like it's gonna be fine because that's gonna wait for you to go in, and yeah, that should be fine. That's gonna stop there. Okay, so we should probably add in 1 signal like here then. That will allow you to enter, pick up some packages, and that should eventually now... Well, that's only realistic. It's fine. We'll fix it soon. I promise. That should... Yeah, that should... Yeah, okay, good. And that's theoretically what I should be doing for all of the places having more, I think. So how is it looking down here? I'm assuming there's a ton of packages, which makes sense. Yeah, that's gonna get through it. It's just gonna have to work through it. It's fine. Now, the only thing that I kind of want to do is probably chunk load the offloader at my base. That would probably just help in making sure that nothing is destroyed. That there should cover everything. And I also kind of want to... Yeah, because this is obviously an issue. I was thinking of just changing this up just slightly. It's going to look a little ugly, but also this, I'm not going to see this that much, okay? I will see it a little bit, but not that much. That should be way smoother getting the packages in there. Do the same thing on the other side here, and it might also ensure that I don't really lose anything, like that package there, for example. And it should still work, right? If we just put that in there. Oh, right. Okay. Now. Oh, perfect. We still have... I do. March down. Smart. Right, but that... Oh, the trains running around the base. It's amazing. And not only is it amazing that we have trains running around the base, but we've also cleaned up a really barren part of the base, and we've connected up some train tracks to their final state. I've been cutting this project down a little bit as well. We are reaching the end of season 1 of Just Create, and I really want this base to at least look finished. And well, we're of course not done just yet, as I mean, I still have that mountain to finish, and I've got so many parts of the base to decorate and build, and so much to do, and I got a mini game to build as well. But for now, thank you to all of my supporters, and thank you to you for watching